At number 8, the helicopter that has been the mainstay of the British Army for over 25 years.
Lynx. Manufacturer, Augusta Westland. Type, light utility helicopter. Power plant, 2 Rolls-Royce GEM 41-1 turbocharts. Principal armament, 2 20mm cannons, 2 70mm rocket launchers, and 8 TOW missiles. Carrying capacity, 10 troops, or 2,000 pounds cargo. Maximum cruising speed, 152 miles per hour.
Westland's Lynx helicopter first entered service with the British Army in the early 70s. In the years that have followed, it has proven itself to be a fearsome warrior, capable of adapting to and mastering a whole range of missions.
The Lynx is a great helicopter. Basically, it's the British version of the UH-1 and the Black Hawk. It does most of their heavy lifting. It has been adapted to troop transport, anti-submarine operations.
You can arm a Lynx and use it as an anti-tank system. You can throw soldiers in the back and use it as an air assault delivery vehicle. So it's a very useful airframe.
The Lynx's cutting-edge, semi-rigid titanium rotor head makes it superbly maneuverable and very fast. In 1986, a stripped-down Lynx broke the record for the fastest speed ever achieved by a chopper, recording 249 miles per hour.
It's a sports car. You turn a bank, you're right there quickly. Feels like you're connected. You are absolutely a part of that aircraft when you're flying it.
The Lynx has probably been most successful in its naval variant. With its folding tail boom and deck capture harpoon system, it can take everything Mother Nature can throw at it and spit it right back.
The Lynx is a very stable airframe. It has a reputation of being a stable aircraft in adverse conditions, crosswind situations. Therefore, it's ideally suited for operations in the North Atlantic and the North Sea.
It can also churn up the water with Stingray homing torpedoes, twin depth charges, or 4 Sea Skua anti-ship missiles. During the Falklands War, it attacked and deterred Argentina's submarine fleet. And in 1991, it again ruled the waves, sending Saddam Hussein's Navy to the seabed.
Go on, you beast. Go on, you beast. Take him, take him, take him.
During the Gulf War, it sunk a dozen surface craft and foiled attempted amphibious assault by the city of Khafji. So this aircraft has a distinguished combat record.
In the 21st century, the Lynx has been significantly upgraded. Hellfire missiles can be added to its payload, and newer engines have increased its carrying capacity by 20%.
This is an aircraft that can take it. This is an aircraft that I could take out there, be successful, accomplish the mission, and it's going to bring me back home.
The Lynx's ability to multitask gives it high versatility. With new versions in the pipeline, service length is also good. But compared to other helicopters in this list, the Lynx is low in innovation and has average survivability, making this the 8th best chopper in our top 10. Entering the ring at 7th in our list, it's the undefeated heavyweight champion of the chopper world.
CH-47 Chinook. Manufacturer, the Boeing Company. Type, medium transport helicopter. Power plant, 2 Honeywell T-55L712 turbocharts. Principal armament, 2 7.62mm machine guns. Carrying capacity, 33 to 55 troops, 24 medical litters, or 26,000 pounds cargo. Maximum cruising speed, 165 miles per hour.
The development of the Boeing CH-47 series Chinook began in the 1950s. A twin-engine tandem rotor helicopter designed for transportation of cargo, troops, and weapons, it weighs in at an incredible 33,000 pounds. and is 100 feet long when measured from its front to rear rotors.
How does a tandem rotor helicopter the size of a Greyhound bus make this list? If you look at the length of service for this thing, any Chinook pilot will jump in and say there are dozens of reasons that the Chinook deserves to be on this list.
The genius of the Chinook design lies in its 60-foot-long contra-rotating rotors. These eliminate the need for a rear vertical rotor, allowing all power to be used for lift and thrust. But the Chinook isn't just about muscle. This bird is fast and agile, too.
I have flown the CH-47. It is an extremely fast aircraft, surprisingly maneuverable. You forget that there's, what seems like a mile of aircraft in there behind you.
First deployed to Vietnam in 1965, the Chinook CH-47A was tested to the max. In just 2 years, it put in 161,000 hours of flying time, carried millions of passengers, and transported more than 1.3 million tons of equipment. In a single flight, it could carry a platoon of soldiers into the heart of battle. And with its dual hooks hanging underneath, it fast became the king of swing.
It can carry a 105 field gun. When you're talking about putting in fire bases into the middle of nowhere, the Chinook is your main mover. It is the prime mover for artillery.
Post-Vietnam, the Chinook's muscle has expanded, with improved engines and avionics giving it a greater mission scope. In peacetime operations, it has been responsible for bringing vital supplies into disaster zones. And in the Middle East, the Chinook has proved itself the #1 helicopter for high-altitude operations. So despite being one of the longest-serving airframes in service, the Chinook is one old-timer that isn't ready for the retirement home just yet.
It's very humbling to admit that the Chinook will outrun an Apache any day. Invariably, we have to ask them to slow down because we can't keep up with them.
The Chinook scores well for service length, innovation, and versatility, while its dual engines give it greater survivability than most. But with almost no fear factor, this heavyweight tips the scales at number 7.